Good morning, good afternoon, or good night, and welcome to Command Power, the show in which we discuss all things Magic the Gathering with a focus on Commander. And today we have another episode in our Spoiler Spotlight series in which I talk about, well, spoilers and tell you what my thoughts are on them. But before that, just a quick reminder to click subscribe if you enjoy my videos. We're well on our way to 1 million subscribers and your support means everything to me. And today we're going to be talking about Insatiable Avarice. For 1 black, it's a sorcery with Spree, which says choose 1 or more additional costs. +2, search your library for a card, then shuffle and put that card on top, or +black, target player draws 3 cards and loses 3 life. So as we've mentioned in our previous video about Spree, it's a very cool mechanic because you can never play the card for its base cost. You have to always add some different cost onto it. That means that you're always going to play this card for 3 or 5 mana, and if you pay 5, you're going to get basically both modes, which is very nice. So let's look at what both of those modes are doing separately. The first one is going to allow you to search your library for a card, then shuffle and put that card on top. This is Vampiric Tutor, but at sorcery speed and for 2 mana more, but without the life loss. That's not really that great. It's fine, but it's not the most amazing thing in the world. Although if you have other ways to draw cards, it can still be a pretty solid desperation move to get a 3 mana tutor. When the card starts to get really good is when you look at that second ability, which is for 2 black, target player draws 3 cards and loses 3 life. So that means you'd have to pay a total of 3 black mana to use this ability, but that's still a really good deal. 3 mana for 3 cards and 3 life is actually extremely good. We've seen recently cards like Painful Truths, which I actually think are very solid and kind of underplayed in Commander, that perform very nicely by drawing a bunch of cards for a very efficient mana cost. This costs the same, except you do need 3 black mana. Whether that is harder or easier than 3 mana of different colors is going to depend on the deck, but I think it's definitely comparable. So the fact that you have that flexibility and options makes this go from a meh card to a really powerful card. In mono black, this is obviously an auto include. I think most mono black decks going forward will be running this just because it's such an efficient way to draw 3 cards. And later in the game, you can just throw 5 mana into it and draw 1 card you want and tutor for 1 card immediately into your hand and 2 extra cards by losing 3 life. That's a really good deal as well for 5 mana. But as we said, what really makes this better than all of that is the flexibility. Cards that are flexible are at a premium usually because you don't necessarily know when you're going to need either mode. And in this case, the modes are a little bit overlapping. They're going to let you dig one way or another. But if you happen to have enough mana to dump into this, being able to do both modes is really good. As mentioned, outside of black decks, it's going to be a little bit more difficult because you are going to have times when you can't really pay 3 black, at which point having just the tutor mode feels a little bit iffy. That being said, if your mana base is good enough or you're running only 2 colors, this should still be a very strong contender for a slot in your deck. It reminds me in a way a lot to Promise of Power, which gave you 5 cards for 5 mana for 5 life, but without the flexibility, and you could pay an extra mana to then get a huge creature as well, which would be very nice. This being so flexible, I think makes it better than Promise of Power most of the time, and because of that, I think that this is going to see a lot of play in Commander, and you shouldn't sleep on this card. So there you have it. Those have been my thoughts on this new spoiler. What do you think about this card? Please let me know in the comment section below. I read all comments and respond to all of them too. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to click like or subscribe. It really helps the channel. And until next time, take care.